And it even smells nice. What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Cosplay Chris, and on today's video I'm going to be reviewing a replica Freddy Krueger glove based on the glove from the 4th Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Master. This glove was fabricated by my good buddy Jameson Michael Knapp of Dark Dream Designs. He's based in the United States. Jameson and I have been friends for several years. He sent me the glove to review and I cannot wait to show you guys the beauty that is this glove. But before that, we gotta go back to 1984. I'm gonna give you guys a history of the Freddy glove props. So, back in 1983/84, when Wes Craven was gearing up to do a Nightmare on Elm Street and he was writing the script, he wanted a weapon of choice for Freddy Krueger, something different. Because at the time, we had killers and slashers with chainsaws, machetes, kitchen knives. He wanted something different. He wanted something to stand out from the crowd of these slashers. And from what I've seen in interviews, Wes literally looked at his cat that was scratching the couch and he just looked at the claws and he thought, that's it. I need a hand with claws or talons, something to that effect. It was written in the script that Fred Krueger crudely constructed this thing from sheet metal, old fishing knives, and an old worker's leather glove or a driving glove. The man that designed the glove and helped bring the first glove to life was Jim Doyle, a mechanical special effects engineer who worked on the first Nightmare on Elm Street. This is the blueprint. Now, all these scans and rare behind the scenes photos are courtesy of NightmareOnElmStreetFilms.com. It is an amazing website and a great encyclopedia for all the Elm Street films, including the remake and of course Freddy vs. Jason. The building of the original glove was then handed off to Lou Carlucci and Charlie Blodnelli. The finger stalls were constructed from Type M copper pipe. We had a thin brass backplate. The knives themselves were Case P210XX knives with the handles removed, turned upside down. There were grooves cut into the tangs of the blades themselves. They were then brazed onto the copper pipe. Completed with some brass ringlets mounted on a dirty worker's leather glove. As far as us glove makers know, apparently it was a Wells Lamont 900. Other than that, we have never seen the same glove since, or the same make and model glove since. It has disappeared off the face of the earth. That glove was then used in the second Nightmare on Elm Street, and by the time Elm Street 2 rolled around, the glove had changed quite a lot cosmetically. The finger stalls had gone from a dark rainbowy burnt look to a much more caramel look. The black staining on the backplate had since gone, and from what we know, it had all been sanded off for some unknown reason. The blades had gone through a lot of wear and tear. They had been sharpened, ground down, sharpened, ground down, and quite frankly, they just look like a mess, but I dig it. Cut to the third Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, from what we know, the original prop from the first and second Nightmare on Elm Street was given to the prop master to use as reference to build a brand new glove for the third Nightmare on Elm Street. This is where it gets a little bit iffy. The glove mysteriously disappeared after this promo shoot for the third Nightmare on Elm Street was done. This is the last time we would see the original prop on screen. And then after that, the glove disappeared for 20 odd years. So the glove for the third Nightmare on Elm Street is quite similar to the original glove in terms of its skeletal look, but it is vastly different. It's a bit beefier. There was spray paint added to the armature. That's what gives it that black charred look. The glove itself was mounted on a Stanley worker's leather glove. From what we can see and from what we know from what the old school Stanley leather gloves looked like back in the 70s and 80s. Now, this is where the gloves changed quite vastly. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, was actually quite a game changer for the Elm Street franchise. Apart from number 3, this one also reinvigorated the franchise after the disappointment of part 2. The glove in this installment is very different from the gloves from part 1, 2, and of course 3. So this is the glove I'm going to be reviewing today. It's a lot more beefier, a lot more rustic, a lot more worn down, a lot more brutal looking. It's stubbier, it's chunkier, but those blades look menacing. So this glove was actually the last glove that had its blades brazed on. The further gloves had all their blades soldered on. Or how do the Americans say it? Soldered. soldered? So I actually have a same make and model leather glove that was used to construct the Part 4 glove, the Part 5 glove, and the Part 6 glove. This is it right here, even though it is a left-hand glove. The right-hand glove has actually been sent to another glove builder. I can't say who at the moment, but they are building me a Part 6 glove. Very excited about that. So this is a Wells Lamont 1178. We have the pull string there with the red ball and tape. And these are the base leather gloves that were used to construct these gloves. These are very hard to find these days. They were very big in the late 80s and during the 90s. So much so that this is Al Borland's choice of leather glove from Home Improvement, I kid you not. Now amongst the Hero glove, which is like the glove I'm gonna be reviewing today, there was also the Diner glove, there was also the Dojo glove, there were stunt gloves, there was an array of gloves built for the 4th Elm Street. We then cut to the 5th Nightmare on Elm Street, the Dream Child, where again, much like the Part 4 glove, there were an abundance of gloves made. There was a Hero A, there was a Hero B, there were stunt gloves, there was a spoon glove for when he feeds Greta. The 5th glove is probably my least favorite out of the canon franchise. You know, we're talking Elm Street 1 to Freddy's Dead. I consider that just the canon series right there. And of course, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, but that takes place in a different world in reality. The Part 5 glove is when they really went nuts with the solder spills all over the armature and the fingers and the back plate. And then we then cut to Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. And honestly, the Part 1 glove, the Part 4 glove, and the Part 6 glove are my favorites. The first Elm Street I ever watched was Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare, and I fell in love with that glove. It's beefy, it's built like a tank, and it looks like something that you'd need a tetanus shot just by looking at it. And then of course we cut to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, where we have the organic bone claw glove, and then Freddy vs. Jason, where we have this big beefy thing that needs to be built like a tank to take on Jason, and then of course the remake glove. So as you can see, the gloves have changed vastly throughout the franchise. We obviously have different prop builders, we have different directors with different visions in mind, and they want to keep changing up the gloves. Much like the Batman franchises, where they keep changing up the suits, even throughout the film there will be a suit change just to keep things fresh and innovative. So today's video is all about reviewing Jameson's Part 4 glove. So what I'm going to do is show you guys nice close-ups of the glove, show you how it moves, show you the details of it, what it consists of, and what goes into making a beautiful prop like this. Alright geeks, here we go. This is the glove itself. It is entitled the Hallowed Ground. Now before I get on with the review, I just want to show you guys this. This here is the original tab and the original ball that came on the leather glove that I got with the glove from Jameson. Now I swapped it out for an original Wells Lamont tab, exactly like the one I have here. Just to bring it up a few notches, now you got to understand the original Wells Lamont gloves are next to impossible to find these days. So this is the best Jameson can do in terms of sourcing a leather glove, and I have to say it is the nicest, softest leather I've ever felt on a glove before. I know Jameson does do a bit of treatment and everything to the leather before he goes ahead and dyes it, and it's not shoe polish, it is a special dye that Jameson uses, and it actually smells really nice. So he even goes to the trouble of weathering the inside of the leather itself, which is something a lot of glove makers don't do. I myself was guilty of it back in the day. It's just a lazy factor, quite frankly. So the copper fingers and the brass backplate are both made from 0.25 thickness, copper and brass. The blades themselves are surgical spring steel, which is just gnarly. I love that. It's the same stuff that scalpels are made from. And like I mentioned in the history of the gloves, this is what I love about the Part 4 glove. It's just these beefy and just dangerous looking little razor tips on the glove itself. They just look like they could do some damage even though they're quite small. Now I'm going to focus in and show you guys this detail here. This is actually on the original prop. This is how the prop looks today. This is the Hero glove as it looks today. Now if we cut back here, we can actually see a bit of brazing that has been placed on the blade. This is completely and utterly intentional. This is on the original Hero. So nothing is left to chance with Jameson's gloves. Everything that's here, it's here for a reason. Now back in the day, us glove builders were wondering how the heck they got all these reds and the black and everything on the original prop. So in terms of the reds, it is a mixture of the brazing colorization that is left on the copper and the stainless steel from the extreme heat of the matte gas, and also red spray paint.
Now, in terms of the back plate, it is black spray paint, and that is how the original prop was done. It was paint, spray paint, and Jameson has faithfully recreated every skerrick, every detail. Give you guys a nice close-up of the back plate there. And one thing I love about this glove is the bend detail on this section of the back plate. This part here, even though it looks quite simple, is the toughest part to crack in faithfully recreating the Part 4 hero. Especially that famous promo pic where Robert's got the glove on his shoulder and the index finger and the middle finger are standing up. This part here is perfect, and to replicate that look is easy with this glove. Jameson also wanted me to point out this tiny little dent where the solder spill is and the dirt in there. That is on the original hero. That is all intentional. And the quote-unquote squiggles here are not black. They are off black, almost like a burgundy on the hero. And again, he's faithfully recreated that. Give you guys a nice close-up of the beautiful detail of the brazing there. Jameson has been making gloves for 9 years now, and he was actually the first glove builder to start brazing blades on his Part 1s, his Part 3s, his Part 4s. So he's quite the pioneer in terms of that. We were all lazy back in the day, and then because of his amazing work, we got into brazing. I myself had to self-teach myself how to braze. It is quite tricky. It's all about timing, precision, and temperature, and he's a master of it. So the hardest thing with brazing is recreating the spills from the brazing. If you're doing it freehand, willy-nilly, if you're not recreating anything, it can be quite easy, but when you're recreating stuff like the spills on the tips, it is tricky. I'll show you guys a demonstration of how it moves. It is a very nice moving glove. Fits me like a glove. There you go. All the tears in the leather, faithfully recreated, even the little excess piece right here that is on the hero. The movement is nice and fluid. The glove actually arrived in 2 parcels, where the tips here were shipped separately because of our Australian customs. I just had to rivet them on, and that was pretty easy, just using some pliers as Jameson requested. It's got that nice clacking sound like every glove should have. I just love the way it picks up different lighting and shades and hues. That is a proper recreation of a glove right there, because the glove colors were constantly changing no matter what Elm Street film it was. So if Jameson notices something different every time he sees reference, he will constantly update his templates, which is great. And he's constantly updating his website with photos and everything. If he changes something, it's a whole new set of photos and updates, even with thicknesses of his copper, his brass, anything, he's onto it. He will change it in a heartbeat. So he's always looking to better himself in terms of glove building, which is great, which is what I want to see more of. Now, the ringlets are copper, and on the original hero, they are mushed here. Now, Jameson reckons Robert Englund dropped the glove. I think that the glove may have been a bit too loose on Robert, so what the prop makers have done, or hell, even Robert, they've just smushed the ringlets down so it's nice and snug on him, because Robert doesn't have big hands. His hands are probably a fraction bit bigger than mine. So this is why this glove is quite little and chunky, but also at the same time beefy, like a little tank. So there you have it, guys. This is the Dark Dream Design Hollow Ground Part 4 glove, based off the 4th Nightmare on Elm Street. So guys, absolutely and utterly blown away by Jameson's craftsmanship on this piece. For someone who doesn't own the screen-used glove, he absolutely nailed it. And like I was mentioning before about getting this side of the back plate perfect, he kills it, absolutely kills it. Communication skills are second to none. He will get back to you as quickly as possible. He will keep you updated every step of the way from start to finish when he builds his gloves. And it even smells nice. So guys, with that, I'm gonna be giving the Dark Dream Design Hollow Ground Glove 5 geeks out of 5. Should have done that more dramatically.
5 geeks out of 5.
So guys, I will leave all the links down below for Jameson. He is on Instagram, Facebook, he has a YouTube channel where he actually keeps clients updated with his videos, and of course his website, Dark Dream Design. It's been a good week. It has been horror-filled with the Michael Myers life-size statue, and thank you for the overwhelming response on that, and this beautiful piece right here, which I'm very happy to add to my Freddy collection. Guys, wherever you are in the world, have yourselves a cracker of a day. I hope you're well, hope you're happy, be merry, be silly, and until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.